a little bit overwhelmed. I know, I know during my healing process as I was losing my weight, there was a time that I just had to turn off the news because I was just so overwhelmed with anxiety. And there's just so much fear in the world right now. There's so much anxiousness. And frankly, in my state, when I was so unhealthy, when I was, 232 pounds, I just had to turn it off. I just had to make that decision of, you know what, my health comes first before any of this. And I didn't back out of what was happening around the world. I wasn't unaware of what was happening in the world. As an activist and a lobbyist, those things are really, really important. And so I didn't back out of what was happening, but I just said, you know what, my body comes first. And it's time for me to get healthy. And so I did. And probably a lot of you guys are feeling that way now. As you turn on the news, I've turned it on the past couple of days, and my gosh, you would just think that the world is coming to an end, and it's just overwhelming. So I wanted to talk to you this morning and encourage you. I just wanted to encourage you. As a health coach, I am watching daily lives change. I mean, I am watching my clients come off of their sugar meds. I'm watching them come off of their high blood pressure meds and I'm watching type 2 diabetes literally be reversed. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. I'm watching pounds right now. I'm coaching a class of about 25, and already they have lost nearly 300 pounds in just 3 weeks. It's just absolutely crazy, exciting. And so I just have to counterbalance that with the news. I'm paying attention, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about this morning. The coronavirus, right? First of all, I just want to say that I am not a doctor. I don't play one on the internet, and I look to our leaders as, okay, we have a problem. We have a problem, and I look to them and say, okay, it's wisdom. It's good to use wisdom. What is not good is freaking out. It's just not good. I'm watching some of these stories on the internet, and it just blows me away. I just cannot wrap my mind around why we would fight over toilet paper. It just is like, are we what in the world is going on, right? So when I thought about it, I thought about my lifestyle. I thought about my responsibility that I take very, very seriously as a coach. Toilet paper. Darce, I don't know. I don't understand the whole toilet paper situation. If you understand it and can tell me about it, I would love to know what the big scoop is about the toilet paper and the fights in the grocery aisles over toilet paper. I don't know. What I do know is I know keto. I've lived it for 3 years. I've maintained my 100-pound loss for 2 years, and I know keto inside and out. Now, I'm still learning new things every day. In fact, I just announced in my new program a brand new list of sweeteners that I've had to cross off because I'm having clients become stalled unnecessarily. So I'm learning something new every day about keto. So I'm not an expert by any means. There's things that I'm learning. But what I do know is I do know that my life changed 3 years ago when I stepped into the ketogenic world and I understood the science behind why keto works. At first I was annoyed that I had to learn the science. And why do I need to go back to science class to learn this? Well, it's really important because of things like now when I realize that what has happened to my body for the last 3 years and the immunity that I have built up and the inflammation that is gone from my body now, I don't understand the whole doctor's world, and I'm not pretending like I do, but what I do know is the foods that I put in my body now have removed inflammation. And what I do know about inflammation is a huge source and a huge host to disease. I do know that. I've studied a lot about the science behind keto and what the pancreas does, what our insulin does. Guys, in the presence of insulin, we cannot lose weight. I see these commercials now on insulin resistance. It makes me crazy because we can heal our bodies of insulin resistance with what we put in our bodies. We can stop our bodies from holding on to the fat cells that it holds on to when we're insulin resistant. We can remove that inflammation from our bodies that is a host for all sorts of man-made diseases. So what I do know about the science, and in relation to coronavirus and any other virus that has come up with, guys, it's not just corona. It is not just, this one particular virus. It is like, these things mutate. These things change all the time, just like the flu, the flu virus, right? So it's constantly changing. Well, what doesn't constantly change in my body? What I put in it. And the feeding of inflammation and the feeding of that host. Inflammation. Here's an example. I am going through, I had surgery, as a lot of you know. I had my extra skin removed, and what I'm dealing with now is a lot of swelling. And what I am seeing in my journey, and as discouraging as it is on my side, what I'm seeing in the journey of all of those other people who have had the same surgery is their swelling, they call it swell hell, is like massive. Their swelling is massive. Mine isn't. Now, I'm complaining about mine because it is a real thing. They literally cut my body in half when they took away the skin and they repaired the muscles. And so I went through massive surgery. And so, yeah, I do have some. But what I have now is like nothing compared to those who have had the same surgery. So the things that I choose to put in my body is only helping when we have a crisis like we do in our society right now. We have a crisis. I haven't been sick in 3 years. And I'm not saying keto is the only reason for that. I had this issue because I was a lobbyist for so long, and because I had become a very bitter woman, I had this thing where if there was a cold sore virus in the air, guess who got it? It was me. I got that cold sore. It was probably once, twice a month, I had this massive blemish on my lips, and it got so bad that they would go up to my nose. I haven't had one in 3 years. It has been the most incredibly amazing thing that I have ever lived through, because ever since I was a teenager, I had these cold sores. Haven't had it. That's inflammation. Because I'm not feeding my body that crap anymore, my body doesn't hold on to inflammation. Inflammation is the #1 cause of our man-made diseases. So when you're living the ketogenic lifestyle and we have all of these fears come in the news and all of these new diseases, my word, we are ahead of everybody else, right? Not saying that you can't get it and that you shouldn't be safe, and absolutely. I have washed my hands. My hands are so dry and cracked right now. I'm depending on my lotions now because my hands are so yes, let's be smart. But I'm not panicked because there's no inflammation in my body. Now, that said, that's the good news. That's the exciting news. When you're living the ketogenic lifestyle and that inflammation is gone and you're working on getting healthy and you're working on your health, that's a good thing. You are set up for success, right? Now, there's a reality right now, as you've seen in the grocery stores, as you've seen on the news. In New York, they've got, some people are calling it martial law. They said on the news it's not martial law, but they've got the National Guard now, where they're quarantining everybody. Well, what happens when there's a massive panic? What happens when there is this, what do I do? Everything's going to hell in a handbasket. We're now stuck in our house. So that has a lot to do with the coronavirus, but it has a lot more to do with panic and how do I take care of my family? So as somebody who is living the ketogenic lifestyle, I have a choice. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm just going to survive. Give me a reason to get off, give me a reason to eat those carbs. No. That is not how this works. That's not how this works, right? So as somebody who has 3 people in her house living the ketogenic lifestyle, what did I do? Number 1, I didn't panic. Number 2, I didn't go fight anybody for toilet paper. Number 3, I made a list, because you see, Keto Mom changed her life 3 years ago, and Keto Mom is not going back. There is nothing that you could do to make me go back. Y'all remember at Y2K? I think in the basement, I still have like 5 of those 5-gallon buckets full of rice. Do you think I'm going to get desperate and eat those? Absolutely not. There's absolutely nothing that I will do to cheat. There's no excuse in the world that would make me cheat. Okay? So just get it out of your mind. If you're living the ketogenic lifestyle, get it out of your mind. So there's things that I did to prepare my family. I didn't panic. Went to the grocery store. I made sure there was enough meat in my freezer. First of all, there's a lot of meat in my freezer because my husband's a hunter, number 1, and because that's a staple in our house. And so we have two freezers that are constantly full of meat. So double checked my freezer. Did we have enough meat? Did we have enough, is there a variety? So my husband is a deer hunter. We have 2 deer in our freezer right now. But I want to put some, in case we're stuck in the house for 2 weeks, I want some variety in there. So I went and got some chicken, put some chicken in the freezer. Didn't panic, didn't stash my cart full. I got enough for 2 weeks. Threw it in my freezer. I got enough vegetables, because if you are my client, you understand the way I teach keto. I want you to have 6 to 8 cups of dark greens a day. Keto Mom needs 6 to 8 cups of dark greens a day times 3, because there's 3 of us living in the house. So what did she put in the freezer? She put dark greens in her freezer. Okay? She got 2 big horns of mozzarella cheese. She got 2 big horns of, she got 1 horn of mozzarella cheese, 1 horn of cheddar cheese. You can go to your local, we live in an Amish area, so we have, you can buy them this big. I mean, literally, and you can freeze them. So that's what's in my freezer. That's a base. That is a base thing that I knew that if we were stuck in the house for 2 weeks, I would have that. I went and I got 5 dozen eggs. Now, for me, that's not very much. So my husband went and got 5 more dozen this morning, just because that's a base. That is a base. There is no excuse that I will have to cheat. There is no excuse that I will have to say, oh gosh, the coronavirus is here. I might as well eat this bread. Absolutely not. There is nothing that you could do to get Keto Mom to jump off this wagon, because she got rid of the inflammation in her body, because she got healed. Her body is healed of all of that crap, okay? So I didn't make a big deal out of it. I just went and filled my cart. Now everybody else is putting milk and bread in their cart, so I was clear. My cart, there's no problem with not having any of what I needed on the shelf, because I don't do milk and I don't do bread, right? So I got my meats, I got my cheese, I got my dark greens, I got some Tylenol, I got some extra strength Tylenol to put in there. I got there's 1 brand of cough drops that I use, that if I needed a cough drop, I got my sugar-free cough drops, okay? What else did I put in my cart? I did get some heavy cream. That lasts quite a while, so I got some heavy cream. I went through my Keto Bible. If you do not have a copy of my Keto Bible, make sure you take my course. It is priceless. I just went through that Keto Bible and I just put a base. I put all of my safe foods. I put everything. You can turn eggs and cheese into bread. You can turn that into a chaffle. You can turn that into a waffle, a pancake. I got a treat. I put some treats in my cart. I got some of my syrup. I got some of the chocolate chips that were keto. What I am telling you is there is no excuse to cheat. There's absolutely no excuse. When you are prepared, when you understand what has happened to your body is you've put your body into ketosis and you have taken away that inflammation, you have taken away that stuff that causes those man-made diseases. When you take all that stuff away, you put yourself on a good path, you don't want to cheat. There's no way, and there's no excuse. Guys, do you know you can talk yourself into anything? I am watching mass hysteria happen right now of people who are talking themselves into fear, talking themselves into panic, and I am not talking about not being wise. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about stupidity and panic. There's no need for that. You can talk yourself into anything. You can talk yourself out of a healthy lifestyle because of a virus out there. Don't do that. Don't do that. You have not come this far to fall off a wagon when you can just make a trip to the store, be prepared, get 2 weeks worth of stuff that you know. Guys, I'm telling you what, if there was nothing else in my refrigerator and I had to have eggs every day for 2 weeks, you bet your bottom dollar I would do that before I would pick up a piece of bread and hurt my body and put that inflammation back in my body, right? But you don't have to do that because you've got the list out there. You know exactly what to prepare for. We have Great Danes in the house. I also went and got another 50-pound bag of dog food. I just didn't panic. I was just wise. Yes, I got hand sanitizer. Yes, I got antibacterial soap. I didn't panic about it. And cheating is not an option. It's just not an option. When you have felt freedom, when you have felt what putting the right things in your body does to you, you're at that store. And guys, I would be prepped, even if there wasn't a virus out there, I would be prepped anyway, because there's no excuse for cheating. There's absolutely no reason to cheat or to hop off the wagon or whatever excuse you give. We can give any excuse we want. There's no need to, because we're prepped. Here's what I tell my clients. And this is for somebody out there today who's not a client of mine who needs to hear this. This is what I tell them. You don't question going to pick up your kids at school, right? You don't question that. You're there. Your car's in the parent pickup line. You're there. You don't question that. You don't question taking care of your family. You don't question taking care of your animals. Guys, sometimes you ladies put yourselves even behind the animals. You don't question anything like that. Now, why on earth would we question our own health? Why would we put our own health in jeopardy, take care of everyone else, and then they lose you? Why would we do that? There's no excuse for that. So I want you to start loving yourself, ladies. I want you to start prepping. Yeah, it takes a little prep. It takes a little prep. I totally get that. But I also get what freedom feels like. So, as you're watching the news these days, be wise. Be absolutely wise. There's nothing wrong. The Bible talks a lot about wisdom and preparation and all of those things, right? So, but don't fall into panic mode. Don't fall into panic mode. And whatever you do, if you're a client of mine, I have over 450 clients right now who have lost over 6,000 pounds. By the way, I have boot camp starting on Monday. That's a serious come to Jesus program. Let me tell you, that is like hardcore keto. I've got a 7-week session coming up on April the 13th. Maybe this is your time. Maybe as you've seen this coronavirus out there and you're like freaked out about it, maybe it's your time to say, you know what, it's time that I get a coach. It's time that I take this thing seriously because I want to be prepped on the front side. So many of you are prepped and your bodies are already fighting infection. It's already getting that crap out of your body, right? Maybe it's your time. Maybe it's time you just start making excuses. We are the queens of excuses. Maybe it's that time. All right. I've got a whole class full of clients right now who have lost almost 300 pounds in 2 weeks, and they're ready. They're like, there's just no question because they're feeling so good. There's no question as to if they're going to cheat or not. Don't panic, guys. If you've been living the ketogenic lifestyle, your body's ready. Your body is, that inflammatory crap is out of there, right? If you've been living it, you know how good it feels, and you know that there's nothing that could happen that would make you want to cheat. And so you're going to be prepped on the front side. Just go get your supplies. Go get your safe foods. Remember in my classes we talk about our safe foods. Go get those. Make sure they're in your refrigerator. Make sure you're washing your hands. Make sure you're disinfecting. Make sure you don't go out into big, areas where there's sick people. Wisdom. Be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. I mean, we got to be wise. We got to be wise. There's nothing wrong with being wise, but we also don't need to panic. And we also don't need to cheat. So I want you to be ready. You go out, get your Get your safe foods. Take your keto Bible with you. Know what they are. Have 2 weeks worth. Always have 2 weeks worth. There's nothing wrong with always having 2 weeks worth stashed and ready to go so that you don't have to cheat. I love you guys to the moon. If I can answer any questions, please set up a consult call with me. It's become a passion. It's become what I live for. I live for watching women change their lives. And I'm so excited to do that every day I get to do that. So be wise, be prepared, and guys, no need to cheat. No need to cheat. I love you.